You've got 24 hours. That's it. Not a second more, not a second less. The billionaire, the millionaire, the broke guy begging for change on the street corner. They all get the same 24 hours. So why is it that some people take those same hours and build empires, while the rest of you waste them and end up with nothing? The answer is simple. It's not the hours you have, it's what you do with them. That's the brutal truth. The rich understand time is the ultimate equalizer, and they treat it like oxygen. Without it, they're dead. The poor, they treat time like it's worthless, like it's free, like there's an endless supply. And that, kids, is why they stay poor. Let's get this straight. You can't manage what you don't respect. And most of you have no respect for time. You waste it hitting snooze, scrolling your phone, hanging around losers, drowning in distractions. You treat your 24 hours like junk change in your pocket. Meanwhile, the rich are slicing those hours into weapons. Every hour has a purpose. Every minute is leveraged. Every second is pointed toward building something that lasts. You're killing your life one wasted day at a time. The rich are buying their freedom one disciplined hour at a time. Think about Elon Musk. The man runs SpaceX, Tesla, and a dozen other ventures simultaneously. How? He doesn't have more hours than you. He just refuses to waste them. His calendar is a battlefield. Every block of time is accounted for, and every block pushes his vision forward. You're lucky if you get out of bed before noon on a Saturday. That's the difference. The rich compress decades into years because they master the 24 hours they're given. The poor waste decades pretending they'll get serious someday. And here's what you don't want to hear. Procrastination is poverty. Every time you delay, every time you hesitate, every time you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, you're digging your own grave. There is no tomorrow. There's only today. There's only now. The rich know this. That's why they execute immediately. They don't wait until they feel ready, because ready never comes. They act, they fail forward, they learn, they adjust. You wait, you dream, you talk, and then you wake up 10 years older with nothing to show for it. That's the price of disrespecting your 24 hours. You think you've got time, but you don't. Death is coming for all of us, and the clock doesn't stop ticking. That's the only guarantee in life. And yet most of you live like you're immortal, like you've been promised 100 more years. The rich live like death is around the corner, so they don't waste a second. They move urgently. They act decisively. They treat time like the most valuable asset in the world, because it is. You can make back money. You can rebuild a business. You can recover from failure. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. The rich understand that. The poor never will. So here's the question. What are you doing with your 24 hours? Because if you show me your calendar, I can predict your future. If your day is filled with distractions, small talk, and meaningless activity, you're on the path to poverty. If your day is filled with focused action, bold moves, and relentless execution, you're on the path to wealth. It's that simple. 24 hours. The only difference between rich and poor is how they're spent. The poor man says, I didn't have enough time. That's the biggest lie he tells himself, and it's the excuse that keeps him broke. The truth? You had the same hours as the billionaire who built an empire while you wasted yours. The poor love to blame everything but themselves. They blame the economy, the government, their boss, their parents. But the real enemy is in the mirror, the one who keeps wasting the only thing that really matters. Time is your currency, and most of you spend it like drunk sailors in a casino. The rich, they invest it like surgeons, precise, intentional, and always with maximum return. Every single day is a battlefield of hours. You either conquer it or you surrender to it. The rich wake up with a war plan. They know what needs to be executed, who needs to be called, what targets need to be hit. The poor roll out of bed wondering what the day will bring, waiting for the world to hand them something. The world doesn't hand you anything. It punishes hesitation and rewards execution. You want proof? Look at Rockefeller. He didn't stumble into oil wealth by luck. He seized his 24 hours while others wasted theirs. He made moves when others hesitated. He treated time as a weapon. That's why his name is still remembered generations later, while his critics died broke and forgotten. And don't fool yourself into thinking you can waste time now and make it up later. Later never comes. The rich understand that the time you waste compounds against you. They know every wasted hour is a lost opportunity that never returns. That's why they're ruthless with their schedules. They cut out distractions. They say no to nonsense. They fire people who waste their time. You let anyone interrupt you. You give away your hours like they're worthless, and then you wonder why your life looks the same year after year. Let's talk about habits. Habits are nothing more than how you structure your 24 hours. The rich build habits that serve them. They wake up early, they exercise, they plan, they attack. They repeat this daily until success becomes inevitable. The poor build habits that destroy them. They sleep in, they binge, they procrastinate, they waste their nights and weekends, and then they cry about being unlucky. There's no mystery here. It's just the brutal math of time. Consistent, disciplined hours compound into wealth. Wasted, lazy hours compound into poverty. You're living the consequences of your habits right now, whether you admit it or not. And here's another truth the rich live by. Your environment eats your hours alive. Surround yourself with losers, and they'll drag you into their cycle of wasted time. Hanging out at bars, gossiping, complaining about the government. That's how the poor waste their lives. The rich surround themselves with killers, with visionaries, with people who sharpen them like steel on steel. They don't tolerate anchors. They don't give hours to leeches. Every person in their circle either multiplies time or gets cut out. That's the ruthless standard you need if you want to win. Show me your friends, and I'll show you how you waste your 24 hours. The poor think they have choices, but the truth is they don't. You either spend your 24 hours building something, or you spend it destroying yourself. The rich don't pretend otherwise. They understand that choices have consequences, and wasted hours carry the heaviest price tag of all. That's why they don't chase balance. They chase results. They miss parties, birthdays, vacations, because they're focused on using their hours to build freedom. And yes, there are consequences. But ask yourself, would you rather miss a few celebrations or spend your final years broke, sick, and full of regret? The rich already made their choice. Have you? You're sitting on the same 24 hours as everyone else. The only difference is how you use them. And here's the punchline. Life doesn't care what you intended to do with your hours. It only cares what you did. The scoreboard records results, not excuses. And if you're broke, it's because you spent your 24 hours like a fool. If you're rich, it's because you spent them like a warrior. That's the truth no one wants to hear, but I'll keep shoving it in your face until it sinks in. The difference between winners and losers, between rich and poor, comes down to one brutal fact. The rich never let a single day go to waste. They don't live for weekends. They don't live for holidays. They live for execution. They treat Monday the same as Saturday, sunrise the same as midnight, because every hour is an opportunity to push the needle forward. The poor, on the other hand, live for escape. They crawl through their week just to reach Friday night, and they waste Saturday and Sunday like they've got an endless supply of them. You want to know why you're broke? Because you throw away 2/7 of your life every week. The rich don't. They treat every hour like it could be the hour that changes everything. You've been brainwashed to believe you should take it easy. Schools told you to wait your turn. Parents told you not to take risks. Friends tell you to relax and enjoy life. And society tells you that working too hard is unhealthy. Let me tell you something. Being broke is a hell of a lot more unhealthy than working too hard. Stressing about bills, watching the clock at a job you hate, begging for a raise that never comes, that's unhealthy. The rich grind through discomfort because they know the reward at the other end is freedom. The poor waste hours chasing comfort in the moment and end up chained to misery for a lifetime. Look at Carnegie, Ford, Jobs. Do you think they wasted their 24 hours on comfort? Carnegie built steel empires by working harder, faster, smarter than anyone around him. Henry Ford compressed decades of innovation into his days and revolutionized the automobile industry. Steve Jobs squeezed every second of his life into producing products that changed the world. They didn't waste time worrying about balance. They didn't waste time explaining themselves to critics. They didn't waste time living like average men. They weaponized their hours, and the results speak for themselves. The poor are masters of excuses. They waste their 24 hours explaining why they don't have enough. I'm tired. I'll do it later. I don't know where to start. I don't have the resources. The rich hear the same doubts, but they don't let them win. They act, they move, they figure it out along the way. You keep waiting until you're ready, but here's the truth. You'll never be ready. The rich understand that action creates readiness. The poor waste hours waiting for the perfect conditions that never come. And don't think the rich don't face fear. They do. But fear doesn't stop them. It fuels them. They feel the clock ticking louder than you ever will, and that urgency drives them forward. The poor feel the same fear and waste their hours avoiding it. They let fear paralyze them while time slips away. The rich use fear as a signal that they're on the edge of growth. They don't retreat, they advance. That's how they turn fear into fuel and wasted hours into milestones. You want to know what kills more dreams than failure? Distractions. Every notification you check, every meaningless conversation you entertain, every show you binge, every party you didn't need to attend. That's time you'll never get back. The rich cut those distractions without hesitation. They protect their focus like it's sacred. They schedule their hours with precision, and they don't let anyone steal them. You, on the other hand over your time for free. You give it away to gossip, to laziness, to meaningless scrolling. And at the end of the day, you wonder why nothing changes. Here's the cold truth. The poor live in reaction mode. The rich live in execution mode. The poor let life happen to them. They respond to problems, to bills, to whatever chaos shows up that day. The rich dictate their hours. They wake up with a plan. They attack. They build. They execute. They don't react to life. They impose their will on it. That's why their 24 hours compound into wealth while yours compound into regret. Stop lying to yourself. Stop telling yourself you'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is a myth. The only thing you have is today, this 24 hours right here, right now. You either use it or you lose it. And once it's gone forever. The rich understand that every second counts. The poor never will. And that's the line that separates them. The most dangerous lie you tell yourself is that you have more time. You don't. The clock doesn't care about your excuses, your struggles, your feelings. It ticks for the rich, it ticks for the poor, it ticks until your life runs out. The difference is how you use it. The poor man burns his 24 hours chasing comfort, chasing distractions, chasing nothing. The rich man burns his 24 hours building, executing, conquering. That's why one dies broke and forgotten while the other leaves behind a legacy. You want proof? Look at Warren Buffett. The man has the same 24 hours you do, yet his hours are structured for maximum impact. He reads, he studies, he decides, he invests. He doesn't waste hours trying to impress people who don't matter. He doesn't waste hours glued to a phone. He compounds his hours into billions. Meanwhile, you compound your hours into wasted years. Every coffee shop conversation about someday, every wasted evening, every morning you sleep through, that's time compounding against you. You see, the poor live as if time is cheap. They think it's unlimited. They blow it like pocket change. The rich live as if time is priceless because it is. That's why they guard it, protect it, and use it with ruthless discipline. They don't hand it over to anyone who doesn't deserve it. They don't trade it for gossip, laziness, or mediocrity. You want to live like the rich? You've got to start valuing your 24 hours like gold, because that's exactly what they are. Gold bricks slipping through your fingers every single day. Most of you live reactive lives. You wake up and let the world decide your schedule. An email comes in, you answer. A notification buzzes, you check it. A friend calls, you waste an hour talking nonsense. That's not living. That's being a slave to everyone else's agenda. The rich flip that script. They wake up with intention. Their hours are mapped. Their actions are aligned. Their goals are clear. They dictate the day instead of being dictated to. That's why they win. You can't get rich reacting. You get rich executing. And let me be brutally honest. The poor waste more time on entertainment in a week than the rich waste in a year. Hours spent binge watching, scrolling, gaming, gossiping. It's pathetic. You don't deserve success if you live like that. Success doesn't reward laziness. Success rewards urgency. And the rich know it. That's why they work when others play. That's why they study when others sleep. That's why they grind when others party. They weaponize every minute. And you anesthetize yourself with distractions to hide from your own wasted life. Stop telling yourself you're tired. Everyone is tired. Stop telling yourself you're busy. Everyone is busy. The question is, what are you busy doing? The poor are busy wasting time. The rich are busy making every second count. That's the separation. That's the dividing line between wealth and poverty, freedom and regret, legacy and obscurity. 24 hours. nothing more, nothing less. And here's another thing the rich understand. Urgency creates opportunity. They don't wait for perfect timing because they know it doesn't exist. They act, they strike, they pull the trigger. That's how they seize opportunities while the poor are still thinking. The poor waste hours analyzing, doubting, over-planning. And while they're thinking, the opportunity is gone. Someone else, someone rich, took it because they moved faster. Success doesn't go to the smartest, it goes to the fastest. Ask yourself this: how many opportunities have you let slip because you wasted your hours waiting for someday? How many dreams have you killed because you didn't respect the time you had? How many times have you told yourself you'll start tomorrow, only to wake up years later realizing tomorrow never came? That's the story of the poor. The rich write a different story. They make every hour count. They compress time. They multiply results, and they leave nothing on the table. That's why they rise. That's why they dominate. The brutal truth is this: poverty is built one wasted hour at a time. Wealth is built the same way, only through hours invested instead of wasted. The rich know this. The poor ignore it. And that's why 24 hours is all it takes to tell the difference between them. You've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. The cemetery is filled with people who thought they had more time. They thought they'd start the business tomorrow. They thought they'd chase their dream next year. They thought they'd get serious when the kids grew up, when the bills were paid, when life got easier. Guess what? That day never came. The clock ran out. Their 24 hours expired, and so did they. That's the cold, brutal reality most of you are running toward without even realizing it. You're not short on ideas. You're not short on opportunities. You're short on respect for the time you've been given. And until that changes, nothing else will. The rich don't play with time. They don't waste it. They don't wait for someone to give them permission. They understand that life is war, and every day is a battle fought with the hours you have. You either use them or lose them. You either conquer the day or it conquers you. And if you let enough days conquer you, you end up living a conquered life. Broke, bitter, forgotten. The rich live undefeated because they fight every day like it matters. They execute relentlessly. They guard their 24 hours with a level of discipline that most of you can't even imagine. That's why they're rich and you're not. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you don't have enough time. You've got the same 24 hours as Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Rockefeller, Carnegie, Buffett. The same hours, the same currency. The only difference is how you spend it. They built legacies. They built industries. They built wealth that will outlive them. And what have you built? Excuses, regrets, wasted years. That's the difference. Not luck, not intelligence, not resources, just 24 hours used differently. And don't misunderstand me. This isn't about grinding yourself into the ground for nothing. This is about focus. This is about urgency. This is about structuring your day so that every hour drives you closer to your ultimate vision. The rich compress decades into years because they refuse to waste days. They buy back their time. They multiply their time. They weaponize their time. You can do the same, but only if you wake up to the truth. Your 24 hours decide everything. So here's the choice. You can keep living like you've got forever, wasting your hours on comfort, distractions, and fear. Or you can start living like the clock is running out. You can treat every hour as sacred, every minute as an investment, every second as an opportunity to build the life you say you want. Because the truth is, you don't rise or fall in years. You rise or fall in hours. And those hours are slipping away whether you act or not. This is the dividing line. This is the brutal truth. 24 hours, that's all it takes to separate the rich from the poor. The rich use them. The poor waste them. The question is, which one are you going to be?